Welcome to another Quantum Conversation, brought to you by AcousticHealth.com. I'm Loren Gailey, and I invite you to sit back as we enter the quantum realm, that space of the greater part of you. It is your connection to infinite possibilities, infinite potential, and infinite mastery. Welcome, everyone. As we continue to work on our mastery, we are here with intuitive psychic and spiritual teacher Matthew John, who's going to be doing some readings because we've done this before a little bit. He's always a wonderful speaker on a variety of spiritual topics. But today we thought we would spend more time with you and interact with you. This is your space, and it's really fun to see Matthew in action. Hi, Matthew. How are you?
I'm great. It's nice and warm here, tropical. The snow turned to, tropical growth. So we're good. How are you?
Wonderful. We were just
Good.
checking in. Let's do an energy check-in. There have been a couple of big solar flares. I think there's been
Oh my God. Yeah. Yesterday,
last night, right?
I didn't check. I don't know, but yesterday afternoon there was an X class X 1.3. So that's really rare. That happens about once a decade.
I felt
Very,
exhausted.
very rare.
How did everyone feel? I was really
Yeah, I've been
exhausted.
very dizzy, and I actually sometimes I get really energized. Lately, this week I've actually been extremely energized. Everyone feels it differently. Like I've just been sleeping a little less than normal, but yet feeling like totally energized. So everyone's body kind of accepts the solar energy. But I felt it. I mean, when it hit, I felt, a wave of vertigo for a moment, and it was like, whoa, what was that? So I was
that. Do you know?
Well, the X class, it was in the early afternoon in New York. So I think it was like 1:30 or something in New York time.
Okay.
Yesterday. I didn't check though. Maybe there was more last night, but we've had almost two.
Before that, there was another one.
Yeah, we've had almost
residents going on.
Almost 2 weeks of nonstop solar flares, this is different than what we've had over the past 2 years here. I was talking to my mom about this a little while ago today, and I told her, I'm like, I think the sun is speaking to us. I think the sun is encouraging change for the planet. And she was like, indeed. So it's what I feel. I feel like, yeah, the sun is kind of, and we are in Aries season right now. This is such a cool time of year. It's all about just it's about energy. It's about strength. It's about masculinity. It's about production, creativity, just getting things manifested into the physical. Aries takes the potential or ethereal energy from Pisces, which is the 12th house and the last sign of the zodiac wheel. And it takes that energy and then channels it into creation. It's the potential or kinetic energy into the actual manifested energy. And it's so cool. So and all the planets are direct now still. Mercury will go retrograde in May, but until then, we're still in a period where all planets are direct. So it's all about just energy, motion, moving your physical body, exercising, engaging in sporty activities, engaging in anything physical, really getting connected with the physical world. And also, whatever is going on in business, career, etc. Just like now's the time, work your butt off now during this season, because it'll really pay off for the rest of the year. The more you get done now. So I always work hard. I work 7 days a week, but I've been really enjoying working extra hard lately. Just creating all sorts of cool stuff. So, yeah.
Very good. Thank you. Yes, it's the energy of spring, and Wesak is coming, and magical time. Yeah, coming into April. This is the last day of March. I can't believe it. It
Yeah,
felt like we just had the turn of the year already.
it feels so. I always feel so strange. Like I'm sure everyone does at this time of the year because it's been cold and snowy for so long, and like you feel like it's never going to end. You feel like just reality. And I'm someone who actually enjoys the cold and the snow. I never complain about it, but it's weird to think about, yeah, in a couple weeks it's like shorts, t-shirts, enjoying nature again, everything blooming. It's a cool transition time. It makes me very grateful for not actually living here but living somewhere where in New York State where there's 4 seasons.
Well, I'm actually grateful to be living here where the sun keeps
You're
shining.
not actually there though, come on, unless you
I am.
you
This is
are.
down the street from me.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I'm sharing with everyone. I'm a private person for the most part, but I am
Okay.
sharing everyone that I have been in Costa Rica since December 12th of
Really?
last.
I was totally joking when I said Costa Rica. I had no idea.
No, it's true. My husband and I, we have built a retreat space
Wow.
and we did it during the pandemic. It
Oh my God.
actually manifested on 11/11 in 2020.
Wow.
And so in 12/12 of 2021, we've been here. And I just have to say, the vibration of love here is so incredible, that I'm just sharing that with everyone and really anchoring this space with everyone. And so, yeah, I love it.
Congratulations. I had no idea. That's really exciting.
Yes.
That's great. Cool. Yeah,
So
so
maybe someday you'll be here and who knows?
I'd love to. Yeah, of course. I would love to. Are you enjoying the new climates? It's totally different.
I'm going where the sun keeps shining through the
Yeah.
pouring rain and the weather suits my clothes.
Okay, there you go. Nice.
So,
That's
yes.
wonderful.
So yes, all right, here we are in this beautiful springtime of in the Northern Hemisphere. We've just come through the equinox. That feels like a really wonderful balance of energies. And so just game on for everyone. We can feel a freshness
Yeah.
of
Renewal.
coming out of the past 2 years.
That too. I mean, it
Yes.
does, optimistically. I mean, when I back in December, I on my YouTube channel, I made a 2022 astrology prediction video, just like psychic and astrology predictions. And I did say that I believe that the pandemic will end in earnest sometime this year. And I don't think we're there quite yet. I think we're very close though. I think by summer, most of the world it'll kind of have been in the rear view window. And that's great. It is very exciting because it's, like you said, I mean, this is a time when we may have more options available to us than we've had over the past 2 years. And with all the astrological and solar energy, that's just, again, the energy is all about manifestation, creation, getting things done in the physical world. It's really cool. It's a cool time.
Yes, and the newness, I think I just want to chat just briefly about fear and the lessons we've learned about fear and our discernment over fear versus love. And we've certainly been given a lot of opportunities to learn how to discern. So I think many are tired of the fear. Like, we're done with fear, right? I know I am. I know we still have to be prudent or whatever, but I
Well,
think we're done with fear.
it's always a choice. This concept can apply differently to different subjects. I mean, you're talking about medical or health things. There's a value to fear because it helps someone to make prudent, logical decisions with their health and well-being in order to maximize, the the probability of living a healthier life. That's just logic, but the energy of it in general, of course, when we're in fear, we're going to be more restricted. When we're in love or a sense of groundedness, feeling safe. Feeling safe, like just safety is very important, because we all carry, a certain amount of trauma from the past, from our childhood, from past lives. And when we're not feeling safe within, it's hard to create effectively. And the last 2 years have been a scary time for a number of reasons. I don't think we're done with weird world events that affect everyone. I think they may keep coming over the next 20 years here. But when we're able to do whatever we can, so whatever for one person makes their nervous system feel at peace, that's what's important. And for the next person, it could be totally different. And whatever that is, that's what's important, because it's your nervous system. It's your trauma, it's your history. It's very different than other people's. Other people may not understand it, even if you try to explain it. So whatever you need to do that grounds you, that helps you to feel safe in your body, that's what then allows you to, I kind of think that's what you were pointing towards when you're speaking. That's what allows you to dive into this energy of being able to create and enjoy and feel renewed. So, the natural world, right here and there, the natural world, whatever climate you're in, whatever season it is such an effective way to be able to connect with that energy of safety, because it's very easily felt from the trees, from the birds, from the squirrels, from the fish and the dolphins and everything. It's very, very easy to feel that connected. It's more easy to feel disconnected sometimes if you're watching the news, or if you're driving around in traffic or whatever, So just reconnecting with nature, especially during this time, is very important, I'd say.
And it's wonderful that in the past 2 years, a whole lot of people have been reconnecting with nature. That is a good, beautiful gift. And
yes,
it's beautiful to see that. So wonderful. Okay.
Awesome. Let's talk about connecting with the tarot. Why don't we?
Do you want to do that, or let's do reading?
I want to just give people an introduction to the tarot, and then
access to the tarot. Then thank you.
And then we can do some readings, and then we'll talk a little bit more about how people might be able to learn if they're interested in learning. Because I am going to be using the tarot for the readings today, so I really want to emphasize the tarot. So I started as a life coach and a tarot reader in my career as whatever I am. I have a very odd career, a spiritual teacher, over a decade ago. And so for me, the tarot was one of the building blocks of everything. I'd been in a very difficult period of my life, and I needed some spiritual assistance. And I had found a tarot reader that I really connected with, and she helped me a lot. And I became very fascinated with the tarot itself, and I wanted to learn. So I read the books, I went to some classes, I mostly taught myself, and it was the most effective thing for me in helping me to discover how to use my intuition and my psychic senses was the tarot. So I as I said, I started as a tarot reader. It's always been a part of my journey. There was a time when I actually kind of turned away from the tarot for a while. I learned something very valuable from that. I had been using it too much to try to read for myself, and it had actually ended up causing me more anxiety and more fear when I was in a very difficult dark night of the soul not too long ago, about 6 years ago. And I took a break from it for a couple of years. And it was really only over the past 2.5 years that I really rediscovered my absolute love for the tarot. And now I love to incorporate it when the opportunity arises in my readings with clients. And I find it to be extremely effective. And I even use it in my own life to read things from time to time. So I absolutely adore this this art, and it's why I'm now teaching it. And we have a tarot course, my comprehensive tarot course, coming up starting on April 23rd. It's a 13-week course. We'll talk more about that later, but it is the best way to learn the tarot comprehensively, whether you're a beginner or advanced. So a little bit of history on the tarot. Playing cards. The tarot has, if you're not aware, the tarot has 78 cards in it, and each of the cards can be read upright or reversed. So really, it makes 156 cards. And within these 156 cards, every possible theme of life is contained. There is no thing you can come up with that has happened in history, has happened in your own life, could happen, even an alien invasion. Not that that's going to happen, but it could be described in the cards. There's nothing that the cards cannot describe, which makes it so cool. It is a complete container. It is a complete container that is, if you divide it into 156 slices, it can explain every possible theme or event in life. So that's one of the reasons why I think it's so cool. A little bit of the history of the tarot. Playing cards were in existence for at least 800 years prior to tarot decks. In 1377 AD, a German monk named Brother Johannes von Reinfeld described a series of painted cards that worked as an allegorical journey of life and the soul. And that's from this book here, which we use in my tarot course, The Ultimate Guide to Tarot by Liz Dean. The first deck was likely created in 1415 in northern Italy. It was called the Visconti Sforza cards, and it was a fad for wealthy people to play a game. So the tarot actually started as a game that the elite would sit around and drink their wine and play with the cards. The nobles had artists paint the cards. So the origins of the depictions in the cards were actually from Italian artists. And then over the years, this is the Rider-Waite deck. This is the most common deck you'll see out there. And this is the one that I use in my course because I find the symbols in the cards are extremely important. Like if we look at the Queen of Cups here, what does the scepter mean? What does her crown mean? Why are they both gold? What does the robe mean? What does the child here with the fish mean? And in my tarot course, we intricately, because I'm a Virgo moon, so I'm very detailed. We go over every single symbol in in each card. We go over the astrology of each card. Each card has an astrological relationship and a numerological relationship. Each card has a certain relationship to every other card in the deck. We go over all of that comprehensively in the course. But it was originally, there were artists that were commissioned by the elite in Italy to draw these, to paint these. And that's kind of the origin of the cards. Another really famous deck is the Marseille deck, the Tarot de Marseille. It's the earliest deck that resembles today's deck, and it was printed most famously in 1760 by Nicolas Convé in France. So it started in Italy, then it went to France. The word tarot comes from tarocchi, which is an Italian card game that actually preceded the tarot. Only since 1781 is there evidence of tarot cards being used for divination. So it's only pretty recently. It became much more common during the 19th century. However, some scholars believe that the origin of the tarot actually dates back much further than Europe and actually dates back to either the origins of Christianity in the 1st century AD or perhaps even to ancient Egypt. No one really knows for sure. So there's a kind of a cool, mysterious aspect to the tarot. We know for sure that it came from Italy, but did it actually come from somewhere before that? It's quite possible. Personally, I do believe there is some sort of origin in ancient Egypt for the tarot. And if you're not aware, the tarot contains what's called the major arcana and the minor arcana. This would be an example of a major arcana card. This is the Empress, number 3. The major arcana cards will go from number 0 or 22, which is the Fool, both the beginning and the end of the major arcana journey. And then number 1, the Magician, through number 21, the World. And in that journey from, you could say 1 to 22 or 0 to 21, it is the journey of the Fool, who is the querent or the person going through the journey of life. And the major arcana tells a story of it tells a story of the spiritual journey, from being born as a spirit into a physical body, going through all the trials and tribulations of learning through childhood and learning through early teenage years and early adulthood and adulthood, getting old, going through dark nights of the soul, the ego experiencing triumph, and then the fall of the ego multiple times, illness, loss, everything that happens as a human in physical form on this earth. It's described in the major arcana, from the Magician all the way to the World and then the Fool. And the minor arcana cards are all the other cards. So this is an example of a minor arcana card. This is the 8 of Pentacles. There's 4 suits. There's pentacles, swords, wands, and cups. Okay, each one is associated with a different element. And the minor arcana cards fill in the details of the Fool's journey from the beginning to the end. And then the reason why the Fool card is both numbers 0 and 22 is because that's representative of reincarnation. The World card is either the ascension out of the physical world and becoming a permanent spiritual being, which we might call the ascension into the 4th density or 5th dimension, or it's reincarnation back into number 1 being the Magician. So the tarot itself really is such an amazing illustration, exemplification of life itself. And the reason why the cards are so effective in helping you to train your intuition is because someone commented, was that flashing light around me? I don't know. It's a green screen here. I did my best. I fooled around with the green screen before this, and this is the best I could do. So sorry. I'm kind of new to using a green screen here. So the reason why the cards are so good at helping you to refine, and it's my aura, thank you, to refine and discover your intuition and how to use it, is because the cards themselves have symbols, but everything is up for interpretation. You know, if you look at the 3 of Cups here, especially if you're either a beginner with the tarot or you have you don't know anything about the tarot, just look at the 3 of Cups and try to just feel into what it might mean. You know, you might notice that there's 3 people here that are celebrating, right? Maybe celebration is a part of it. They seem to be perhaps working together. Why are they wearing all sorts of different colors, though? Are they maintaining their individuality by working together, right? What is it? What does the pumpkin and the grapes and all of the abundance here mean? Does it mean they're celebrating abundance? Are they celebrating a victory, teamwork, right? And yeah, of course, everything I just mentioned are part of the possible meanings. But the wonderful thing about the tarot is it's very open-ended. So every card can have many different meanings. And on my tarot course, you'll see in the notes and the slideshow that I provide, for some cards, I'm giving you 50 different possible meanings. That's not an exaggeration. So the great thing about the tarot and helping it to teach your intuition and your psychic skills is that everything is really open for interpretation. And ultimately, as I tell my students in the course, and hopefully some of you who end up joining, is that ultimately, when you lay the cards out, you have to throw the book meanings out. We learn the book meanings, we learn the history of the cards, the numerology, the astrology, the relationship to other cards, in order to have that baseline understanding. But when you lay the cards out, you throw that all away, and it's whatever you are feeling. Your intuition is 90% of what goes into an effective tarot reading. So it really teaches you how to use your intuition, because you absolutely have to. You can't usually, very rarely can you logically interpret the cards that you lay out. Once in a while, it'll be something cut and dry, like a yes or no question, and it's pretty easy. 95% of the time, though, it's not cut and dry at all. And you have to really, really tune in to the cards and tune into what you are feeling. And that's why it's so valuable. It's so different than oracle cards. Oracle cards, which are great for, other instances. This is a cool deck here, this Galactic Heritage deck. But oracle cards, they come with a booklet. You lay out the cards and you look up the meaning in the book, and there you go. There's not much that's really open for interpretation, and there's not really that challenge of challenging your intuition, your psychic skills anywhere close to the tarot. The tarot carries a very high degree of difficulty in mastering it. I've been at this over a decade, although I did take a few years off. I'm still not at the level of mastery that I will be in a year or 5 years or 10 years. It really is a lifelong journey with the cards. I'm at a pretty good level of mastery with the cards, but I'm sure there's more. So the fact that the tarot carries a very steep learning curve, that's why my course is almost 38 hours of live instruction. That's a lot. And really, that's not even maybe as much as it could be. I just need to keep it reasonable. So the tarot carries a very steep learning curve. That's why it's so valuable to refining your intuition. That being said, let's get to a reading. And I also I'm going to share later, Lorraine, I want to make sure to share with people, in case they don't end up doing my course, how they can use the tarot to discover their blind spots, their spiritual blind spots, and their trauma within. So let's make sure we touch on that a little bit later on, but let's get to a reading.
Okay, perfect. Wonderful. So what we're going to do is I'm going to bring in our Zoom audience as a panelist. When I promote you to a panelist, you will be able to share your video and unmute yourself. So the first one that we have is Pamela.
And what I want people to do is ask me a specific question.
Yes.
So
okay. Very good.
Give me something to kind of hone in on.
Not just a yes or no question, a specific question.
Well, if it's yes or no, fine. We'll just, we'll expound. But a question.
A question. Aloha, Pamela.
Hi, Pamela.
Hello. Hi.
Hi.
Okay.
Thanks for joining.
Thank you for doing readings for us this morning.
Sure, why not?
That. I've been waiting for a particular soul to show up in my life, and I know that cards can't always give you time because time is difficult to tell through cards.
Yes. Now, just pause one moment. I want to share with the audience. You can use the tarot to predict timing. However, it's not always cut and dry. In my experience, I found that sometimes it seems to be accurate, but a lot of times it's because the cards are actually not talking about timing. You're hoping they are, right, but they're actually talking about something else. The cards have their own language. It's almost, the deck is like its own entity. It's like a friend, and it'll speak to you however it needs to. So yes, you can sometimes, but not always. So yeah, good point. Go ahead.
Okay, so my question is this. I've been waiting for my twin flame to show up physically in my life. We connect telepathically. So is there a time when we are actually going to be able to connect on the physical plane?
Do you know who this person is?
Yes, I do know who he is.
And you've spoken to them in the physical?
Yes, we met in 1998. We physically met in 1998. But I haven't seen him physically since early 2000.
So how do you know he's your twin flame?
Because I've asked, and because I do my spiritual work as well. I've been on my path for a while. I started tarot cards back in 1970. So nice. Yeah, I've been doing that kind of work for a while. However, I do know this, that sometimes, like you said, we have our own blocks. And so when we're reading for ourselves, sometimes we're not getting past our own blocks to get answers.
Right. And also our mind very easily influences the cards when we're reading for ourselves.
Right. Exactly.
Because we're very much attached to our own journey.
Right.
So that's why I took a break from the tarot for a while, because I was kind of spinning in a circle of just trying to figure things out for myself, when really what I was supposed to do, what my soul wanted me to do, was let go of all that and just feel it, and just go, kind of guess almost. The twin flame thing, and we're going to do a reading absolutely in a second here, but we're in no rush. The twin flame thing is interesting. It's a very interesting concept. I've spoken about this in many other talks, some of them on this network. I do, look, I'm still trying to figure this out. I think the twin flame thing, though, is different for everyone. I think it also depends on where your soul comes from. If you're a star seed, then the twin flame isn't going to literally be like another half of your soul. It's more likely going to be a being that you've had experience with on another planet. And then that brings up the possibility of having multiple twin flames. If you're a soul that's an earth seed or an organic consciousness, as I would call it, meaning like you came from the animal kingdom here on earth, like the Hindus describe, then you may have that experience of actually literally being kind of one half of a soul, and then you guys come together in the physical and the third dimension. And then I just very honestly, and I'm not necessarily saying this applies to you, I just will say for the audience that I've been doing readings, for a decade here, and different kinds of readings. And it's happened a lot where people have come to me and been very, very sure that their twin flame is their twin flame. And I wasn't so sure in what I was feeling or seeing. And ultimately, a lot of those people ended up figuring out that maybe they weren't. Maybe it was more
no problem,
that intense desire within, that intense desire for unification, which we all carry within. It's one of the most exciting and pleasurable and amazing parts of life is unifying with another person that is like a perfect match for you, right? So for some people, and there's a whole community out there in the New Age community of twin flame content, and people talk about twin flame reunions, and I've just found over the years that not always, obviously, I definitely have had many people are like, yep, that's your twin flame, but or your twin ray, which is another possibility. But there are some people out there that fall into the desire, and the desire takes over the mind, and it kind of colors the relationship with a brush of like, oh, this is my twin flame, when maybe it isn't. But let's do a reading for you if you still like. So are you comfortable just sharing the first name of the person only?
Yes,
please?
It's Miguel.
Miguel. Okay, Miguel. And your name is Pamela. Okay. So I'm going to use the cards first, and then I'm also going to meditate and kind of connect with my guides. And and do you want me to just be honest with whatever?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, good. And just for teaching purposes, on the course, I teach you guys all how to clean your decks, clear your decks, but a really easy way, just when I'm doing multiple readings, like I'm going to be doing today, before each person, just tap 3 times to clear. That kind of motion, it's like any other people's energy or my energy that was in the deck. Basically, whoever you did your last reading for, whether it's yourself or someone else, their energy will still be in the deck. So you got to sage it or just clear it like that, or even visualize the violet flame on the deck too is another good way.
I tap 9 times.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, awesome. I love it. Yeah, doing things in threes is very, 3 is very important in magic and, and witchcraft as well. So yeah. Okay, so Pamela and Miguel, What does the future hold for Pamela and Miguel? What does the future hold for Pamela and Miguel? What does the future hold for Pamela and Miguel? And everyone shuffles differently. That's just how I do it. All right, here we go. Fun part. Strength. I'm gonna start with 3 cards, and if I need more, we'll go from there. Strength reversed. 10 of Swords reverse, Emperor reverse. Now, when we get all reversals, it can mean a number of things. It doesn't necessarily mean it's like a no. It can.
Right.
It depends on the context. So, I'm gonna show the cards first, and I'm gonna take a moment. Always take your time, people, with readings. Never feel like you have to be in a rush to tell the person right away. Take your time. I'm gonna take a moment to just meditate on these cards here. What are they saying as far as the query here? And draw one more as well. Another reversal, Ace of Swords reversed. And I do also like to look at the back of the deck. So the back of the deck here, we got the Ace of Pentacles, which is interesting because it could mean that there's some aspect of this twin flame journey, or whatever you want to call it, playing into how you go about your purpose or mission in life. Maybe you've learned a lot along the way from having this sense of separation and desire and trying to figure it all out. Perhaps in some way it's accelerated your personal development. For a true twin flame journey, there is an aspect of the reason that the two parties are separated on a soul level is because each party is meant to learn on their own. They're meant to develop and accelerate on their own. Whereas if they were together, it wouldn't be as quick of a learning process. Right, of growth. Yeah, that's the word, right? So there's an aspect to that. Let me take a second here. So I'm just speaking to my guides. And this is what I do in my soul plan readings. I kind of pause and speak to my guides. What I receive, take this for what it's worth with a grain of salt. I don't see a reunion or a union. I see that he's chosen a completely different life that is, it's kind of outside of your realm of physical experience and influence. Like, it seems like maybe he has a family, or it seems like he's just got a very established life, maybe a partner. And he absolutely remembers you. There's something very strong. There's a very strong energy coming from past lives with you two. There's an extremely strong event that occurred in a past life that really, whatever roles you were playing as souls in another lifetime, it changed both of you. And when you met this person again in this lifetime, there's this like unconscious remembering of whatever happened. it was something where, and I'm vibrating now. It was something where like, and by the way, when I vibrate, it's like I feel really, it's a confirmation of
Right.
being connected. There was something, I'm really vibrating now. There's something where I think someone may have passed away in another lifetime, a family member or something. It may have been your father, it may have, and this person was there. He may have been a part of the family, like an extended family member in that life, or may have been outside the family, but whatever it was, he was there to ride this really traumatic experience with you. And you felt a sense in that lifetime, you felt a sense of comfort from this person. And but then they, after that, it was like they came in, had this huge impact, and then they kind of disappeared. And there was this unconscious remembrance within of that. And the same thing kind of happened in this lifetime, maybe to a lesser extent. I don't know if you were going through anything traumatic in 1998 or whenever you met him, but whatever it was, he came in and there was this powerful feeling within. The question of whether he's the twin flame or not it's an interesting question. I could see it. At the same time, I don't feel like you're meant to be together in the physical in this life. I feel as if there's some sort of otherworldly thing. Also, I think you may both, I see like a Pleiadian realm, maybe not Pleiadian, or some sort of realm where they look very Pleiadian, the Pleiadian look with the elf ears and the very, the bright white skin and the piercing blue eyes and the space suits. I don't know if you've seen Pleiadian depictions, but there's something about knowing each other from another realm.
Yeah.
Seeing each other on Earth, seeing each other in Atlantis as well, for some reason. So it is it is a bit of a twin flamey vibe. I will agree with you on that. I just wonder if, I don't know if this is the lifetime, and maybe you'll see each other in future lifetimes. I think in this lifetime, for whatever reason, it benefits you as a soul in the body much more to not be with this person. And I know that's tough for
that's interesting.
The ego to take. It's tough for, that desirous part within, but it has served you much more, because that person, I don't know how you've accelerated spiritually in certain ways more quickly than that person, than Miguel. There's one way that I think he's accelerated more than you, but you guys were meant to do this separately. And I think when you communicate telepathically, I don't think that's like fake or anything. I think that there is a strong connection. I think that when you speak to him, he'll sometimes see you in his dreams, in his dream space, but he's waking up next to someone else, and it's not something that is realistically meant to happen in the physical world. It's more of an astral experience. And someday, you'll both, I'm vibrating really now. Someday you'll both be spirits again in the afterlife, in the astral realm, and you'll both really, really understand, what this was all about. And you both will likely be back on the more ascended Earth, next century, maybe, the end of this century, in another body. You've got a long life to live yet in this body, but eventually, of course, we all end up in a different body. Sure. And you'll meet again. So you recognize, oh God, I'm really vibrating. Whoa. So I'm definitely spot on here. Like my whole body is vibrating. Feels good. It always feels really good. But you guys have a very strong connection that's rooted in earthly lives, in I believe Pleiadian lives as well. But the story's like not over. It's like if you, it's so hard to do this because we're physical beings, you know. But if we zoom out, like from a soul perspective, from not just taking this lifetime into account, but taking many, many lifetimes into account, one lifetime is just kind of a blip. It's just a blink of an eye, right?
Yeah.
And it's a progression of like, of, okay, what happens next? It's just, yeah, the contracts, another aspect of this is that he has, his soul chose to work out these contracts with his family and you know, wherever he's at now, that were much more important to work out in this particular lifetime. Whereas the contract with you is more slated for future lifetimes when you both have ascended. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So, and then, you know, for you, I would consider the possibility that just like he's waking up next to someone else, maybe there is someone that you're meant to wake up next to that might be on the island of, might be in the state of Hawaii. And because I feel that, I think it's not just working out this one soul contract and having this one experience with this one person. I would be open to that possibility because that's an experience that I think would open you up in so many ways. There's some heart chakra blockages within that would rip open your heart chakra to have that experience. There's some fear within your root chakra that's from way long ago that would be able to, you, like we talked about before, safety, and it just, the experience of feeling safe with another being and merging even physically. It's so beautiful for the root chakra as well. All the chakras, really. So I'd be open to that possibility. Just for you and for the audience, going back to the cards. Now that I've brought all that through, you see, I didn't even really use the cards, and sometimes I won't, but we'll kind of relate them to the cards. So the strength reversed here, I think it's just talking about how it, maybe this feeling or experience within of like needing, you can't like be whole without that person. Wherever that within is, it holds you back. Okay, because the strength card upright is about being in your power, being in your strength, solar plexus, right? The 10 of Swords reversed is about, so when the 10 of Swords is reversed, the 10 of Swords is one of the more difficult cards in the tarot. If you just look at it, for everyone who's watching, it's 10 swords and a guy laying down who doesn't look too thrilled with what's going on. It was very, black sky. So when it's reversed, it can either mean that that's amplified, that the pain is amplified, or it can mean the pain is dragging on, or it can mean that the swords are falling out and you're recovering from that, or it can mean that you are needing to kind of free yourself from that pain. And I think that's where it really applies for you here, is that I think letting go of the need, the necessity for this reunion to happen now in this lifetime, I think if you were to let that go, and like I said, I'm really vibrating again, like opening yourself up to the possibility of maybe there's a different experience and it's not him, you would be taking those swords out of you, right? And then the Emperor reverse card here could be talking about a number of different things. It could be talking about, he could be that emperor to you, almost like to the inner child, the little girl version of you. He's like the exemplification of the man that you want in your life, this starry eyed, like, oh my God, I'm in love with him. But yet it's reversed. He's not there. And does it relate to a feeling of abandonment within? Were there father wounds within? Chiron's in Aries right now, conjunct the sun, moon, and Mercury. So father wounds are coming to the surface. Or are there abandonment wounds within, right? And then the Ace of Swords reverse is really just talking about lack of movement towards this is really, in one card, kind of the answer to our question is like, will there be a reunion? And the Ace of Swords reverse is going to be pointing to kind of no lack of movement towards that direction. If it was upright, it would be very different. And as we talked about before, the back of the deck, Ace of Pentacles, Pentacles often has to do with money, but it doesn't have to. In this case, I think it's more about purpose, your purpose as a soul here in the physical body. And what have you learned through this? And how does this reunion not happening, continue to help you to learn and discover and channeling all this energy into your purpose and how you're serving the Gaia and how you're serving people. So was this helpful, Pamela?
It was very interesting. And I'm glad that I got the reading from you.
Yeah.
Of course, all the readings that I do about him for myself are showing me with him, but that's because of my desire. And I recognize that.
I would say that, yes, that's the case. But at the same time, we never know. And
well, and I have also had, when I've gotten my cards, that there is someone else out that I'm overlooking. I've gotten that.
Exactly. I feel that there is someone you're overlooking that lives in the state of Hawaii.
Yeah. Yeah. I just wish she would come forward and say, here I am.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. All right, Pamela. Well, just take everything with a grain of salt.
Yeah,
you're
welcome.
Welcome.
Very much. I appreciate it. I have just been 36 years without a relationship, and I'm just ready for another relationship.
You are. But look, I would say look for it locally.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Blessings.
I truly appreciate your input.
You're welcome, Pamela.
Aloha,
Bye-bye.
mahalo. Bye-bye.
And you being that beautiful person in your love flow, you will find it when you least expect it, goddess.
There you go. Thank you so much for that reminder.
I like that.
Go dance and have fun.
Mahalo.
Mahalo. Thank you. Well, we have space for one more. Here we go. We're going to bring in Catherine. Catherine, you are being promoted to a panelist. And when you're ready, you can come in and unmute yourself and share your camera if you wish.
Hi, Lauren. Hi, Matthew.
Hi, Catherine.
I guess as we're on the theme of relationship, and a lot resonated with your reading with Pamela. But for myself, I guess an ex got in touch during COVID. That's over about 1.5 years ago. And there's been a lot of healing, and he's on the East Coast near you, I believe, Matthew, and I'm on the West Coast. And I do feel a sense that I am leaving the West Coast. But I guess my question, to try and narrow it down, is Russell is his name. Is he part of my past, or is he part of my future?
Russell. Yeah. Okay. We'll go into that. I just want to answer a question. Carol said, how can I contact Matthew for reading? So you can go to Lauren will tell us how to access the special offer, but I'm promoting both my tarot course today and my special offer packages, where you get 16 of my recorded classes, webinars, plus a 45-minute soul plan reading with me. And 45 minutes is more than enough to really dive in deeply with the topic. So you can order that through the New Earth One Network. And Lorena, if you can share that at some point, that would be great. Okay. And Loren's sharing the link in the chat. And I do apologize that we didn't get to more people, but I'm sure I can come back some point again this year and do more. Yes.
And it's important to be outside of our time parameters when we're dealing with some of these deep topics. So
yeah, and I'm the type of person I really like to take my time with things, because sure. like I teach, never rush when it comes to readings.
The way we have to live now on New Earth, when we have appointments, we don't.
Oh God, yeah, exactly. I've been like that my whole life. Usually time doesn't really matter to me. Usually it's just.
I've learned to not do it back to back. Just leave it open.
Oh yeah, the same. I allow a lot of space, because a lot of times things go over time. So. Okay. All right. Catherine, I'm sorry for the interruption. What was the gent's name again? Russell. Is it Russell Crowe?
I wish, but
is it Russell Westbrook?
No, he's a unique Russell in his
Okay.
own right. Yes.
All right. Russell. Do you like to rustle his hair?
Well, if I had the chance,
Russell's hair?
possibly, yeah. It's, as I said, long distance makes that a bit tricky.
You do it over Zoom. All right. So you haven't met him yet, or?
We have met briefly for like 5 minutes in January, just as I was passing through New York. Yeah.
Okay. How often do you guys talk?
Again, talking is kind of like a sporadic text every other day, or
every other day is not bad though. That's
but I wish he would talk, but he just doesn't have time to answer the phone. So okay. I'm a talker rather than a texter. So yeah.
All right. Okay, so Russell, what's in the cards? What's coming for the future for Russell and Catherine? Russell and Catherine. Here we go. Queen of Cups reverse. Let's see what comes after her. It's probably you. Star reversed. Five of Swords reversed. Not looking good for Russell Crowe here. King of Wands. This is probably him though. Is he a fire sign by chance?
He's a Leo. Yes.
Yeah, he is. Are you a water sign?
I'm Libra. Rising and sun.
Okay. Queen of Cups is, it's a water card, but Libra fits well with the Queen of Cups because the Queen of Cups is very emotional and very
that's my Cancer moon.
Floaty. Yes, Cancer moon. There you go. Let's see what we get on the back of the deck. The Knight of Wands reverse. That's not a good sign. Initially, with this draw, just going based off of the cards and the feeling, I'm not too optimistic about this working out. It's like the way that the cards came out, it's like you guys are, it's like he's more in this, like he has more power than you. I think you're fawning over him more than he's fawning over you. He's maybe in some ways in a more stable or developed situation, maybe work or finances, I don't know. And the cards in the middle are about disconnection and lack of clarity, maybe even lack of honesty. It doesn't necessarily have to be lack of honesty between you two, but lack of honesty maybe within about what this actually is. My overall sense is that your feelings for him are a little bit more than his are for you. Let me just take a look and ask my guides. I'm asked to be shown the soul paths of each of you, and do you interact and stay together, or do you break apart? Let me ask that. All right, so please show me Catherine and I don't know. What I'm picking up, I don't think this is going to really go anywhere. I think this may be a bit of a rose-colored glasses sort of picture when you met him, and I think there may be someone else for each of you. I'm sorry to say, but take it with a grain of salt and see where it goes.
Oh, I appreciate that, Matthew. Thank you.
Yeah. I don't mean to be the heartbreaker today. We're 0 for 2.
I know, you're almost like the love oracle.
I'm who?
The love oracle.
Love oracle, yeah, but I'm not the good love oracle. I'm not getting people together. Maybe, but Pamela's got someone in the island of Hawaii. Let's see for you. Who do I see? Do I see another person for you, Caroline? Let me ask that.
Oh, it's Catherine.
Oh, Catherine. Thank you. Catherine. I said Catherine before, but it wouldn't make a difference anyways, because it's I'm reading your energy, but thank you. I think you are going to meet someone long distance. It seems like someone that lives in Houston. Why? I don't know. How? I don't know. Seems like there's someone that you're meant to meet that lives in Houston. Take that for what it's worth.
Okay, I appreciate that, Matthew. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Catherine. All right. Well, this has been beautiful today, Matthew.
We got to talk about the course before we go.
We have to talk about the course. Absolutely. This is a tarot course that Matthew is putting on. So tell us about this course. Thank you.
Yes. So this is I call it the comprehensive tarot reading course because it's so comprehensive that I need multiple pages of to talk about. No, it's all actually on one page, but 13 week courses. We start April 23rd. All right. It's on Saturdays at 5 o'clock in New York, 4 o'clock Chicago, 2 o'clock LA, 10 p.m. in London. Even if you're in Australia, okay, it's a reasonable hour. I think it'll be 9 or 10 a.m. We go over week 1, tarot basics, intro to major arcana. Week 2, major arcana part 2. We go major arcana part 3, part 4. Week 5, wands part 1. Then we go into week 6, wands and cups. Week 7, cups part 2. Week 8, cups part 3, swords part 1. Week 9, swords part 3. Week 10, swords and pentacles. Week 11, pentacles. Week 12 and 13, spreads, refinement, and practice. Towards the end of the course, okay, you're going to have we're going to have opportunities at the end of each call to do practice readings for each other. On my last edition of this that we did in 2021, some people were beginners, some people never touched the cards before. Those people that stuck with the course, by the end of the course, they could read very well. There were people who were intermediate or even kind of almost advanced that wanted to do the course just to refine their tarot readings. And both of them that were kind of advanced told me that it was extremely valuable for them because they learned a lot that they did not know before. One of my students said it was the most, actually Lisa, who created these really cool tarot journals. And these are optional as part of the course. They're handmade in Canada by my student Lisa. They're incredible. She said it was the most comprehensive course she's ever seen, in the spiritual community. And I heard that from someone else. They're 2.5 to 3 hour calls. If you don't have to be there live, if you can't be there live, watch the recording and get caught up. If you complete at least 10 of the classes, you get a certification. You get a certificate of completion showing how many hours of study from myself. You get a 45-minute personal reading with me if you do the tarot course. Okay. And it is on sale from now through Sunday night, Sunday, April 3rd, 11:59 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That's the cutoff. I'm going to be really strict about this. 25% off. Okay, 25% off the course. So get in this week. If you wait till next week and you email me or Loren and ask for the discount, we're not going to give it. Okay, I'm being strict about this deadline. So get in this week and you can get your personal reading scheduled with me for late April or early May. And it's going to be a whole lot of fun. It was so much fun. Last year's course in 2021, it actually started out as a 10-week course, and we were having so much fun. And it was taking a lot longer than I had anticipated because it was my first time doing this course, that I ended up extending it by 3 more weeks for no charge. So that's why I said this time around, let's just do 13 weeks. And if people, just as long as you do 10 of the classes, it'll count for graduating from the course. But most people last time stayed with all 13 weeks. It's a lot of fun. It's a great group of people. Okay, it's on Zoom, so we go through each and every card. For the first 9 or 10 weeks of the course, it's mostly just going through the cards. But I'm also going to teach you things about how to take care of your tarot deck, how to cleanse your tarot deck, how to actually lay out cards, different types of spreads you can do, how to actually refine your intuition, how to do what I was doing with the people today and actually using other Claire skills and integrating them with the cards, how to deal with different types of clients if this is something that you might want to do professionally. It's really comprehensive from all angles, taking you from either a beginner, intermediate, or early advanced to the next level by the end of the course. So it's a lot of fun, and I can guarantee you're going to enjoy it if you join in. And the price is really reasonable. There are people out there in the New Age community that charge an exorbitant, in my opinion, ridiculous amount of money for courses with very little or zero live instruction. This is 100% all live instruction with me, 38 hours of live instruction. Okay. On Zoom, you can raise your hand, you can pop on your video, we'll chat back and forth. It was one of the things I heard from people that they really liked how much interaction, how much one-on-one interaction there was with me. Even at the end of the 3 hours, sometimes people would stay after for some extra instruction from me. I'm very generous with my time. Okay, so the link is in the chat, and if you're watching this on YouTube, the link is in the description box below. Get signed up by Sunday night for the 25% discount. And there's a 2-payment option on that available, even with the 25% discount.
Yes, yes, thank you. We want to make it a really easy way for people to join in. So thank you for that.
And my other special offer packages are still available. If you didn't want to do the tarot course, but you want to do a reading with me, awesome. Like I said before, you can get a 45-minute soul plan reading with me. We'll do some tarot, maybe. I'll do some other types of reading that you saw me doing today. And we'll look at your life plan, look at your soul contract, etc. You also get 16 of my recorded webinar courses. Those are all an hour and a half to 3 hours each. So that's like 35 hours of content in itself. And you can also get a starseed discovery session if you're interested in finding out where you're from in the stars and taking a journey there. And you can also get both if you'd like to do all of it.
Yes. And the link for both of those programs, the tarot and your digital content, is right here on this webpage. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your generosity, Matthew.
Yes.
And your time today. We will have you back again. We're really looking forward to all of the stuff you bring and all of the information and wisdom.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Thank you, thank you. Anything
You're welcome
to share as we say goodbye?
Yeah, I mean, I just, for everyone, enjoy springtime, be happy, be in your strength, you know, like the strength card is really a good, it was out before. That's a really good exemplification of this season that we're in right now, is just being in your physical power, being in your solar plexus, creating what you want to create, and really just trying to be happy. Just be happy. I know it, God, I'm so understanding. I've been depressed. I've been anxious. I know many of my clients are depressed and anxious. And I know it's hard for someone to just say, be happy, because it's so complex. There's brain chemical issues that are a part of it, and all sorts of karmic issues, dark night of the soul. But whatever little moments in life make you happy, focus on that. Go outside, look at the birds, you know, bathe in the sun, go visit a river or a lake or an ocean, and just connect.
Thank you, and happy connecting, everyone. We thank you for your light and your love that you share with the planet. And we love you. Thank you, Matthew John.
Thank you, Loren. Till next time. Ciao.
Till next time. Ciao. Thank you for listening to this quantum conversation, and thank you for dancing with us to the cosmic heart. As we raise our own vibration, we raise the vibration of the planet. This show is dedicated to you and all awakening hearts, as we are here to shine our bright light and amplify our love. Access all quantum conversations, special offers from our guests, and online healing retreats by visiting acoustichealth.com. I'm Loren Gailey, and from my sacred heart to yours, I honor your magnificent love and light. We leave you now with music from the universe. Music literally created by the universe, as musical notes were assigned to mathematical equations. The result is this beautiful music, available at acoustichealth.com. Namaste.